For those of you who have been following my Christmas series, thank you, appreciate it. And today, you're going to love today's videos. Fill her up there. Alright. Ooh, I don't want that on there. Get that off. So if you haven't watched some of your other videos about the Christmas trees or the light up Christmas tree, go ahead and go back and watch those. But today, we've got a special video. We're going to do this in honor of someone who gets no love, who's always forgotten about, and pretty unique. There's only one of them. Rudolph! Red-nosed reindeer, right? So I really loved this thing. It was pretty fun to make, and so we had this big oak tree that was, you know, about to hit the power lines and causing all kinds of problems over by our house. So we cut it down, and I saved a few logs and stuff. And I was like, don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I definitely want to do something with it. Then turns out this was a great opportunity to do something with that. Didn't cost me any money. Didn't have to go to the hardwood store. Oh, I also forgot to mention, thank you, Dewalt, for sponsoring this video. No, I'm just kidding. Dewalt did not sponsor this video, but if you guys are looking for someone to sponsor, I help you guys out. All right, enough for the jokes. Let's get into it. And so what I like to do is get the chainsaw, cut a piece to close to what I'm looking for, and I'll use the miter saw and just kind of get it exactly where I want. Just make it a cleaner cut. And then what you can do is cut your legs, and just keep repeating for however many legs you want. Traditionally they have 4, I chose 4, but you decide. I like this little curve piece for the tail, because you know, it's not perfect. Their tail's kind of curved, right? So let's get it. Okay, let's cut this piece off here. And trim off this little nub. And then cut off your ears. Alright, so now that you got everything cut, you should have your 4 legs. You got your neck, got your head, you should have 2 ears, a piece for the tail, and then you've got your body here. So now what we need to do is we need to kind of trim some of this off so it's going to go in the holes. And luckily for me with this table here, I can just insert these little clamps right in here, and it's going to hold my piece down. We'll put that in there, slide this in here, clamp it down. Now it's not going to go anywhere. So just start trimming this in so I can make my mortise and tenon joints. Just kidding. I'm not going to be chiseling that whole thing. We're going to get our angle grinder. I just had a bright idea. Why am I clamping the wood down when I can just clamp the grinder down? So now that you've got your tenons cut, it's time to make your holes. Clamp this down so it don't go nowhere. So you're going to get your body here, and you can take a spade bit or a Forstner bit. I personally like the Forstner bit the best, and the biggest one of the guy is 1 1/4 inches. So you're going to kind of get where you want to go, find your hole, and start drilling. That's kind of the depth we're looking for. Now that you got your 4 holes done, it's time to attach the legs. I like to just take some of this liquid nail and squeeze it in there because I'm going to be using quite a bit. So I'm not going to waste all my wood glue. And I don't feel like messing with dowels or anything like that. So just kind of lube this up here. And shove it in there. Something like that. Make sure it gets in there nice and good. Come back and hammer it later. So again, we'll lube this one up too. Put a bunch in there. Look at that. Fill her up. And we'll just kind of rotate this. Make sure it gets in there nice and good. And I want this leg kind of twisted like this. And we'll come back with the hammer. And while we wait for the body to dry and the legs and everything, we can go ahead and do the head with the ears. So I'm going to kind of put that there. And let's go ahead. Fill her up there. Alright. Ooh, I don't want that on there. Get that off. There we go. Now that it's nice and hard and everything's set, the next thing we need to do is drill a hole in the body for the neck and then the tail. And of course, again, we're going to fill it up with the liquid nail. And I love this stuff because it's really good for, you know, outside and weather projects and things like that, but it takes forever to dry. And so, you know, it's taking me a couple days to do this project, but it's strong, nice and durable. And I like to have the neck at kind of like a forward tilt with the head there, so you can kind of use that as a guide for your drill. So you can see what angle you're going to need to put your bit, right? So get it started. I found this awesome little piece for the tail. It's kind of curved. I love it. So now I can just stick it straight in, and it kind of curves back. Almost realistic. Get your liquid nail. Lube it up. Fill her up. Yep. A little bit around there. Now, I don't want to glue the head. I like to keep it loose so you can kind of turn it, right? Don't worry, buddy. Almost there. Now, time to make them come alive. We need to add the nose, some eyes, and the antlers. So, what we're going to do is drill the holes for the antlers. Oh, no! Just kidding. And don't forget to change your bit, because this is way too big, and I almost did 1.25 inches for his antlers, and, well, I don't think that's 1.25 inches. Now it's time to put some googly eyes on him. I'm just going to use some super glue for this because they'll probably fall off if I do the liquid nail. And now I'm worried about the weather and stuff, but this will be just fine. Put that on there and hold that so it dries. Holds it in place. And we're going to do a little puff ball for the red nose because we're doing a Rudolph style. Of course, you guys can do anything you guys want. If you want to do like a black button or something. Personally, I like the Rudolph, gives it a little bit of color. And don't forget both eyes, because reindeers have 2 eyes, right? Actually, the super glue didn't hold as good as I wanted, so I'm going to put a little bit more of this liquid nail on there. And much like my wife's steak, he is done. I know, there's something about the pink meat. She doesn't like any red or pink in her meat. I'm not going to argue with her. You can tell her, not me. And if you're not a professional, you're probably going to end up with some wobble like this. Trust me, it's definitely my poor building skills. It has nothing to do with this crooked wood. So, what we're going to do is we're going to saw off some of this leg and fix that correction because it's leaning kind of like this, and I don't like that. I want him to lean a little forward and have these back legs on the ground. And no, I don't have a flush saw. I've never had a real need for it, so for those of you waiting to roast me in the comments, go ahead. This is a lot more work than it looks. Woohoo! Don't worry, it's not going to affect your joints. See? And if you're really lucky like me, you'll get some twigs or some sticks that are pretty similar on each side, and they almost look the same for the antlers. You see how this one's got a point coming this way, and so does that one. And then they split off into a fork. So that's kind of cool. So if you guys got a tree you need to cut down, or you just really like this project, go cut you some logs. Get you some tree branches and cut them up and make this thing. Rudolph will really appreciate it. Isn't that right, buddy? Yes, you will. Build me, build me! Alright, see you guys in the next video.